Timestamp.
I haven't even had a chance to speak yet. You can't time.
What else is new?
You don't even have a drink that you can timestamp with.
Oh man. Ghost drink. Timestamp.
Ghost drink is pretty appropriate for this.
It is very appropriate, but we have to start with your opening thing, right?
Yeah.
All right. So.
Hey everyone, welcome to Devin Talks
Tabletop. That is not how you open up Devin Talks About Tables. You have to sing the song.
What?
How do you not even know your own theme song, Devin?
I have a theme song?
Yes.
Is this what you and Jesse decided when I was asleep this morning?
We had a meeting. It was a meeting that was scheduled. It was at 10:40.
I didn't get the memo
in
for
the
this
morning.
meeting.
And
you realize
you
each of these videos is going to be like 45 minutes because of me.
Not because of me. Because quality content takes time, Devin. It takes time.
Okay.
So
what's my jingle to my channel?
We had a meeting, you just missed it, that we decided that you needed to have a jingle for your channel.
Okay.
Okay? And Jesse and I came up with it. I'll do my best to one-man it, but it's not nearly as good without two.
Okay.
Okay? It really does need two voices, so you should probably
I can harmonize
some point,
once you tell me what it is.
You should probably
once I know my channel's jingle, I can let you know.
It's probably a good idea for you to learn your channel's jingle. All right, you ready? Okay. There's a little motion that goes with it, too. Just a little.
Dear God. I'm in so much trouble when I get home.
You are. All right, you ready? Devin talks about tables. Devin talks about tables. Everything from wood and metal, glass and rock. All the stuff that's just the best. Devin talks about tables. You gotta do jazz hands. At least jazz hands. Tables.
I'm trying to hold this for falling.
It's true. That's it. Yeah.
All right. Well, now that we've done that, do I just not do my other intro ever again?
I mean, you can do whatever lame intro you were doing before, but clearly it wasn't getting you extra value with customers. You really need a
But I said, hey,
jingle.
I'm your friendly neighborhood board gamer to reference Spider-Man. And then I said, this is the channel where the games are made up and what I say doesn't matter to reference whose line is it anyway.
Which I think is great, and most of your people...
But you think I should do the jingle about tables now?
In addition.
I love how you're forcing a rebrand. Like, I don't even get an off. You're just forcing a rebrand.
I am not forcing a rebrand, Devin. I believe if you look at
Vagrantsong, first impressions.
Your comments, they talk about tables a lot. We actually did a whole review of the table as well. I'm sorry.
I should have just done these videos on my own.
Would you have actually done them? That's the real question.
Yes, I would have. I got all these boxes by myself to do all of these first impressions.
All these boxes, they're literally just lids. You didn't even bring the whole... You didn't care about the game enough to bring the whole box up here, did you? Really?
You're the worst.
Truly.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding.
I apologize. I'm not really sorry.
Not sorry
at all. Not in the least.
I want you... So the Vagrantsong is from Weird Games. This is designed by Kyle Rowan. I would like you to give your first impressions before I jump into mine, because I think that you had a unique kind of like entrance into this. I had played the initial like tutorial or the first scenario prior to you, and I got to play it a second time at a different player count. I think I played it 3-player the first time, 4-player this time with you all. And then I know that, again, since we had our 3 scenarios or so that we played yesterday, you and Jesse have continued to play once or twice since then.
Correct.
So I am letting you talk because I think that player count actually has a pretty big change in how this game is going to feel for some people.
100%. Do we need to talk about what it is first before we talk about our first impressions? Or is that part of first impressions in a Devin Talks About Tables video?
I don't know. I feel like explaining what the game is something that is so sensible and what most people do. It's something that I almost unanimously then don't do. I'm very much counter-sensible.
It's true. Let's not talk
Anyways,
about the game.
Vagrantsong is a scenario-based campaign game in which you are hobos or vagrants who are on this train, which is kind of... I think of like the night bus from Harry Potter, but you know, in a sense that it's actually like this very
like
ghostly...
If the night bus were to meet Steamboat Willie and be haunted...
You know the scene in Ghost where they do the pottery? Yeah. If it had nothing to do with the pottery and was actually just about ghosts...
We reenacted that scene just the other day.
We did.
It was great.
In the kitchen.
In the kitchen.
It was a beautiful moment.
It was.
Anyways, you are fighting to restore humanity to these haints, these different spirits or figures that you come across over the course of your travel on this train. And it's a pretty dark and grim experience, but it's done in this very visually arresting world with kind of same art, similar to stuff like Cuphead, if you're familiar with that kind of artwork.
Yeah.
But it's really brought to life with some beautiful acrylic standees.
Oh, yeah.
A very... What you would think that you would get tired of that same spatial spot of the train, but the way that each scenario forces you to interact with it, I think actually does a really good job of creating like a dynamic experience with it that's new for each scenario.
Even on what in theory is a static board.
Yes, yeah. So I really like a lot of what's happening here, but I'm curious how you felt as you progressed with your time with the game.
So, first impressions, I'm going to do first impressions of the box, because I think the box doesn't do it for me. I don't, like, it's just, I mean, the artwork on the front is okay, but when you see it sitting on a shelf and all you see is just this, it doesn't do it for me. I needed more. I needed a lot more.
You needed, like, vibrant Mingo colors?
I mean, you have to do what you got to do. Why?
I'm just letting you talk.
Really? It stands. That's amazing. Anyway, I do really like the artwork once you get inside. I think it does actually do a lot for it, and I think it makes it not be quite as deep and dark and dreary as it potentially could be, because your characters are still kind of fun looking, and artwork is very nice on it. Where I feel like this game is challenging is I did not really enjoy my first playthrough because I felt like it took a really long time. And one of the things that
Four player,
yeah. One of the things that
4-player takes a while.
Really frustrated me was it took a long time to get through. It was a bit chaotic, a little bit to manage. We were wondering, like, whose turn is it? Have we all acted this turn? I would have liked some sort of tracking way with 4 players to figure out if you've taken your turn or not, because everybody has to do a haint turn after each individual turn that they take. So, I mean, it felt like some of those turns to get me to play again was almost like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It was a lot. It was a lot. But the actual gameplay itself was intriguing in that first scenario. Intriguing enough that I wanted to do another one. And that second play was better because the boss was a little bit stronger. There were more elements that came out that were more fun. So it was kind of working your way up into what the rest of it would be. And then the third scenario was really challenging, and so challenging, in fact, that some people decided it was time to take a nap on the couch in between turns.
To be fair, it really had nothing to do with the game. It had to do with the fact that we'd been playing for like 3 hours straight, and it was at the point where that's 3 hours where every turn you have, you're waiting 10 minutes for another turn.
It was rough.
And like, I really don't think that has anything to do with the game. Like,
I don't either.
I think that just has to do with the number of people that you're playing with. And I am a firm believer over the last like year, the more and more games I've played, that player count to me can make or break a game experience.
100%.
And I'm glad that I had played this previously not at 4-player, to where I knew what it felt like not at 4-player, because I kind of had that in the back of my head as I was playing. I was like, you know, I continually am impressed and engaged by what the game is doing. It was simply that we had too many people. And I was a little jealous when I woke up this morning and you and Jesse had mentioned that you'd played 2-player. Not because I wanted to play and make it 3-player, but because I was like, ooh, 2-player Vagrantsong. That sounds like that's a really like smooth sailing and fun time. Did you enjoy it? Like where are you at now at the game that you've experienced it? It wasn't going to last. It wasn't meant to last.
Strong enough.
Where are you at with the game now that you've played it several scenarios enough to where you've seen what it's doing, but you've also now dropped down to maybe a more manageable player count?
So I really like the boss facts. Each boss is so unique and so different that it's a completely different experience every single time. The ritual aspect of it, trying to get the different things completed, to be able to give you extra bonuses to work through your boss mechanics is amazing. 2 players was awesome. It was 40 minutes. Like we sailed through it, and we kind of felt like we were about to die, and then we were like, oh wait, no, I think we're okay.
Is that kind of like a little bit close to how people feel about Spirit Island? You're like, I don't think there's a way that I'm going to win this. And you're like, oh, no, wait, I can win this.
Well, I got that Spirit Isle, the Spirit Island feeling that you get right at the very end. Like, oh, it's going to be really tight. I got that in the middle. And then we realized, oh wait, we're pretty close. I think we can probably pull this out because we figured a couple little things out.
Nice.
But
so you felt like it was much more manageable with 2?
Yes, significantly more manageable with 2. The turns moved quickly. Everything was fine. I think 3 would still even be okay. I just think 4 is a slog. It's just too much.
Yeah. Do you think that you liked it enough to where you're like, oh, I would pick this up on my own? Or is it like the kind of people you'd play it with are here, and so you're happy to play it here, but you probably wouldn't play it at your house?
The people that I'd play it with would be here. I think there's... So it's hard to say, because the exploration, knowing that there's a whole bunch of scenarios we haven't touched yet, that is exciting to me.
Intrigues you.
I want to see more bosses. I want to see what those mechanics are. I want to see how this changes. I would be interested in playing through the whole thing, just to be able to see the different bosses and what's available. And the interesting thing about it is there are choices that you make in the camp phase that will actually change which scenarios you see. So you could actually play through the whole thing again and get a completely different scenario that you didn't get to see the first time.
No, I think this would be an absolute blast to play it too. Honestly, I played it, so long ago when Kyle first introduced the game to me, and then I introduced it, and I was like, oh, Jesse, Alex, you guys need to try this out. And then I hadn't played it since. Like, I picked it up at Gen Con last year, and I just hadn't had the opportunity to play it, and I was getting to the point, I was like, is this a game that I don't know if I'll ever play? And I was worried because I really enjoyed my first time with it. And then kind of playing it this weekend, even though it was a slog at 4, reinforced for me, like, no, I like this game. Like, I really do enjoy it. And I think finding, like, just one other person to run through this at 2-player with makes me happy that I have it and that I still haven't had, I'm okay, honestly. I may not do the first scenario, because I've done it twice now. I don't mind going through the other ones again at 2, and I might just, start at the second scenario and run forward. And I'm excited about the potential of that.
And that's my question, though, is once you've played through each scenario once or twice, like, where does that go from there? I know they've released some new scenarios, which I think is really cool. And having said that, there's like 40 scenarios or something like that in that box.
There's at least 20.
I mean, that's a ton of time. If you play through all 20 of those, you got your money out of the game.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'll ever feel the need to play through it again once I've played through it once.
Right.
But I want to kind of go in one sustained arc all the way through the game. And then after that, I might get rid of it. But, at that point, if you've played it, 20 or more times, you spent $75 on it or something, like you've gotten your game's worth out of your money. Money's worth out of your game.
Yeah. I think the other thing that this one does extremely well are the acrylic standees.
Oh, they're so gorgeous.
I can't even describe to you how nice those look. And it's refreshing against
miniatures all the time.
Yeah, it really is. I think it makes it stand out even more.
I don't know. I love miniatures. I don't think I love them as much as Alex does.
Agreed.
But I like miniatures a lot. And if I had the time or the money to have either me or someone else paint my miniatures, I'd be very happy. However, in spite of that, sometimes like when you have this sea of gray out on the board,
it's frustrating.
It looks okay.
Yeah.
And it's it's more visually or spatially, visceral than having just plastic standees. But having acrylic standees with that kind of artwork just looks gorgeous.
They're absolutely beautiful. I think, and the other thing that's really great about them is all of them are in there.
Yeah.
All of them. And there's room for more if they were to add more later. Easily inside of a normal box.
Yeah.
Like, you talk about shelf hogs and clutter and all this other stuff, and, I just recently got...
6 Siege.
Massive Darkness 2.
Oh, that was huge.
Like, this, all the way up to the top, just nothing but boxes. Just a wall of boxes. 24 separate items if you got the all-in pledge.
That's
24.
Crazy. I mean,
now,
my
granted,
6
3 of them
Siege
were
is going to
dice,
be
but
like...
still.
A lot.
It's huge.
A lot.
It's so much. And even condensing all of that down, if you're trying to condense it all down into a couple boxes, it's still some huge boxes.
Yeah.
A whole 20 scenarios is all in that one little box because of those acrylic standees. And I think that says a lot.
Yep. No, it's definitely a compelling point. But yeah, no, so that's Vagrantsong from Word Games, or Weird Games. And I really enjoy it. I can't wait to dive in it too. Like I said, just knowing today that you two jumped into two and that it only took 40 minutes made
It was awesome.
I was like, man. I was like, I kind of want to join, but I kind of want them to just play 2-player and enjoy that. And I also had other work I need to get done. So really enjoyed it. I want to jump into 2, and I'm glad that you like steadily progress to having a favorable impression of it over the course of the weekend.
Yeah,
because I think you started off very shaky,
unsure
very
about
shaky.
it for sure. But this last one at 2 was really, really good. I'm definitely excited to do some more.
Yeah.
I
So
think
I mean,
scenarios would be good.
Timestamp. You want to do like a? How do you want to do this for a thumbnail? Because I can do thumbnails now.
Right.
So I can do what I used to do at the beginning of the channel. Now? Hey, I can mostly do thumbnails. I will give myself mostly credit. Mostly. So just like, you want to do like, ooh, spooky? What do you want to do?
Ooh, spooky. That's pretty good.
Ooh, spooky?
Ooh, spooky. Yeah, we'll do an ooh, spooky.
What are you going to do?
Nothing.
You're going to shove that in my face, aren't you?
I'm not going to do anything, Devin. Why would I do that for a thumbnail?
Ooh. Perfect. See?
So great.
Now that timestamp thumbnail,
again.
And then now we can do the outro song.
There's the outro song.
Devin talks about tables. Devin talks about tables.
It's not the outro song.
Some are wood, some are plastic, some are rocks.
Why you have to ruin it like that?
Devin talks about tables. That was it, right?
No.
That was like exactly what you did earlier.
That was not at all the same thing.
It was almost identical.
It goes like this, Devin. It goes like this. Devin talks about tables. Devin talks about tables. Some are wood and metal, glass and stone.
You've changed this every time. You said rock last time.
That's why it's good, Devin, because it changes. Tables are not always made out of the same thing. You didn't do the shakies. You have to do the walkies when you're doing it. That's part of the outro.
First off, the shakies sound like a disease or like a massive symptom of something that you need to get checked out. The walkies sound like you're trying to go to the bathroom and you don't want to poop your pants. Like, you gotta go do the walkies. Real quick. Get to the bathroom.
Yeah, could be. Oh, let's try again, okay? Together with the walkies.
Do the shakies.
Devin talks about tables. Devin talks about tables. Some are wood and metal.
We'll see you guys next time.
We gotta do better next time. Timestamp.